Shields up, Ironbreakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another edition of the Cast, and in today's episode we're going to be talking about Monster Hunter World because I finally finished Monster Hunter World. You guys might be wondering, well, what does that mean you finished Monster Hunter World? You finished the story? No, I have 1,200 hours put into this game. I finished the story a while ago, okay? As you guys may or may not know, last Friday we have seen the last piece of planned content added into the game. In consoles, PC is going to be getting it at a later date. That content update was the Arch Tempered Nergigante, which came with its own gamma set as well as a new layered armor. Well, on Sunday, I was hanging out, live streaming, and farming some Arch Tempered Nergigante tickets so that I could craft the armor and do all of that stuff. And as I got enough tickets to craft the entirety of the armor set as well as the layered armor, which is Ryu, by the way, if you guys are curious, I decided, you know what, guys? How about we take another run at Kulve Taroth? And as you guys know, Kulve Taroth is most likely my least favorite thing about Monster Hunter World because of the RNG nature of how you get the weapons. I've made videos talking about this at length. You can check those out if you are curious. I'm not going to be going too in-depth into the mechanics of that right now. And you guys can come at me and you'll say, oh, Rurikhan, but decorations, they're also pretty random, and streamstones and all that stuff. Yeah, the difference is that you can farm a variety of monsters when it comes to getting decorations and streamstones. You can farm pretty much the entirety of the bestiary of monsters that are available in the game. You don't necessarily have to farm a specific monster in order to get that one thing that you want. Whereas with the weapons that Kulve Taroth drops, you have to farm Kulve Taroth. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like it, because you're just forced into farming that event if you really want to get one of those weapons until you eventually get it. But anyway, the event itself, I love it. I love the design, I love the raid mechanics, I love all of the things that they've done around Kulve Taroth. I just don't like the way that she doles out loot. Okay, but either way, that's not really the whole point of the story. So I decided, you know what, let's go and take another stab at Kulve Taroth, because ultimately, after crafting the Nergigante Gamma set and getting the Ryu layered armor, the only thing that I'm really missing that I really want are a couple of Kulve Taroth weapons. And those weapons are the Kjar Ice Charge Blade, which is like the best elemental charge blade in the game so long as as the monster is 3 times weak to ice. The Taroth Sleep Hammer, which was added in that middle tier upgrade to the loot in Kulve Taroth. I'm not sure how many people are aware of this, but throughout her lifespan, Kulve Taroth has seen 3 loot tables. She had the initial loot table, and then somewhere in the middle of her life cycle, she received a couple of additional items. I think it was 15 weapons or so that were added onto that loot table. And then eventually she received the Arch Tempered version, which came with the Kjar weapons. Well, the Taroth Sleep Hammer was one of those that was added in the middle of her life cycle update. So that becomes kind of like an extremely hard weapon to get because it's just so RNG and her loot pool is just so damn big that getting that one specific weapon becomes pretty damn hard. And then the other weapon that I wanted to get was the Kjar Thunder Sword and Shield. And the reasoning behind that is because a lot of the monsters in Monster Hunter World are vulnerable to thunder, at least in 3 stars, and therefore having my favorite weapon type in a thunder element with critical element built into the weapon, because favorite weapon type is Sword and Shield, and you know the Kjar weapons, they come with critical element or critical status. So having that weapon as a Sword and Shield was pretty important to me. So these were the 3 weapons that I really wanted to get out of Kulve Taroth. Now I wasn't expecting to get any of these when I went into that Kulve Taroth hunt on Sunday. But I still, you know, I wanted to just take another pull at the slot machine. So I go in there with you guys, the Ironbreakers. We jump in there and we do the usual 2-attempt strategy to maximize the number of rewards that you get, which is you fight her until you break her coat, and then you come back, gather stuff for the pursuit level, and then you take another attempt after that and you take her down. That usually maximizes the number of rewards that you can get. So we do that, and in the second attempt I was even telling chat, oh, these are the weapons that I would really like to get, but I'm never going to get them before Iceborne comes around. And wouldn't you know it, as I look to the reward screen after we take her down on that second attempt, not only I got the Kjar Ice Charge Blade, I also got the Taroth Sleep Hammer, And there were 2 instances of the Kjar myth, which is the thunder sword and shield that you can get. And I was just like... And that is what I mean by having actually finished Monster Hunter World, because I have everything that I really want in the game. All of the weapons that I want, all of the armor pieces that I want, all of the limited armor pieces throughout all of the events that we've had. I've completed all of the events, done all of the challenges. I mean, not just we, as in the Ironbreakers. A lot of you guys naturally helped out when it came to the multiplayer missions, whether that was Ancient Leshen, Extreme Behemoth, Behemoth itself, all of that stuff. We completed that as a community, and it was friggin' fantastic. And I figured that this would actually be a good time to look back on all of the things that we've experienced throughout the game. I mean, the game is pretty much, in my opinion, the biggest evolution that we've seen in the Monster Hunter franchise. And I understand that a lot of people prefer the old style better. As a matter of fact, I myself, I miss the art style of the old games, because like the new art style is great. I think it's fantastic and I love it. But it is much more grounded in reality than the older armor sets and the older weapons that we had. So in a way, while I do love the new art style, I do miss some of the old stuff that we had. I know that a lot of hunters also miss the art system that we had in Monster Hunter Generations, but the fact of the matter is, if you're trying to introduce a game to a new audience, adding all of that stuff in there would have been completely unthinkable. Like, new players would have never been able to, just to come to grips with the mechanics of Monster Hunter, and then on top of it, have to come to grips with the mechanics of the different styles and the different hunter arts and all of that stuff. I think that was going to be ridiculously overwhelming. That is something that they could potentially introduce with Iceborne. I don't think they're going to do it, though, but we will see whether that is the case or not. But it has definitely been a fantastic ride to see how many new people have joined in and how many people have been enjoying Monster Hunter. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about in particular is how, I think it was about 2 or 3 months after the game came out, so many people were claiming the game to be dead. Like, as someone that created a lot and still creates a lot of content for Monster Hunter, I saw those comments. I saw a lot of comments of people clamoring, "Oh, it's dead," and stuff like, "I only got 300 hours out of this game." 300 hours. As if it's nothing, Like, people were saying, "I only got 300 hours," almost as if I only got 10 hours out of this game. I saw that in so many comments, and I was always blown away by that particular take on the game, because what happens with Monster Hunter World, what happened with Monster Hunter World, is that it is a game that a lot of people assumed to be a live service, because they said we're going to be supporting this game for, I don't know how long they've actually stated, but they said we're going to be supporting, we're going to be adding new content, we're going to be adding new monsters, all of that stuff. And for starters, just the base game alone, I think I got close to 1,000 hours out of the base game, plus all of the additional stuff that they've since then added on top, like Devil Joe, Lunastra, the different events, which, give you different challenge modes and all of that stuff, the additional content with armors, all of this. But the interesting thing is that I would not even consider the game to be a live service all that much, because you don't have to be online to play it. You can play it offline if you want to. The game plays just fine offline. You can play it with just 4 players. You don't necessarily need to team up with randoms. I mean, you do if you want to do 3 of the events in the game, which is Behemoth, Extreme Behemoth, and Ancient Leshen. Those are the only things that you actually do have to team up with other players in order to really bring them down. I mean, you can still solo them, but good luck with that. It is definitely tuned for 4 players. But out of everything else, you can solo everything else in the game. So, in its essence, the live service portion of the game is pretty much optional. And that is the way that I would like to see more games do it. It's like, sure, have 4-player co-op in there. Make it optional. Don't make it mandatory, so that the people that want to enjoy your game in single player can still enjoy your game in single player. And to the people that were saying, 2 or 3 months in, they were like, "Man, game's dead." Here's what I got to tell you. The reason why you said that is because you were able to achieve most of the things that you set out to do in the game after putting in a sufficient number of hours into it, because the game didn't actually gate progression behind anything. Sure, you can say, you know, oh, I didn't get all the decorations that I wanted, or I didn't get all the stream stones that I wanted, but you were able to craft all of the armor you wanted, as well as all of the weapons you wanted, up until when Kulve Taroth came around. And that, I think, is what people did. They got everything they wanted out of the game and they moved on. And I think that that is actually a good thing, that you can do that. It is, in my opinion, a good thing that you can get everything that you want out of a game and move on to something else. And then come back and revisit it. I actually liked the way that they did it because it allowed me to play other games. And then it's like, oh, there's a new content update. And I came back and I played the new content update and I was like, cool, I got a couple of new things. And then I played another game again. Then I would come back. And that, to me, is much healthier than a game that just expects you. No. We want you to play every single day of your goddamn life. You can't play any other game, otherwise you miss out. I don't like that. And a lot of games are doing that nowadays. Like one of the things that I've criticized, and I'm going to be talking about Anthem just very briefly to show you a particular mechanic that they've done. So they've added this thing to the game for a while, which they've now since removed, which was Elysian chests. And Elysian chests were going to be in the game for a limited amount of time. And I calculated, because, you know, they said this is the amount of days that Elysian chests are going to be in the game. This is the amount of items that the Elysian chests hold. You can never get the same item twice. So therefore, you were able to farm everything that was in those chests. But in order for you to get everything that those chests gave away, their cold, hard math was that every single day you needed to get 4 Elysium chests. That meant that every single day from the moment that the Elysian chests were released, you would have to go onto the game and either run a pre-made dungeon with 3 friends that also had Elysian keys, and you all got 4 chests opening on that day, or you had to run 4 dungeons with 4 keys every single day for, I think it was 4 months. I'm not sure if it was 4 or 5 months or however long it was supposed to be. It was 100-something days. I don't really remember at this point. Or maybe it was 3 months. I don't know. Either way, the cold math was that you would have to play that game every single day. And that's what a lot of these service games want. A lot of these live service games, they want you to play their game every single day. And that's what Monster Hunter didn't do. And that's why a lot of people are like, the game's dead. The game isn't dead. You just were able to get everything you wanted out of the game, and now you can go play something else. And that is really the way that I wish that the industry would move forward, even with multiplayer games. Like, don't have these games that are supposed to last like 10 years or something. Because I think a majority of gamers don't actually want to play the same game throughout 10 years. I know I don't. I want to play a wide variety of different games, and whether or not those are games in the same franchise all depends on your ability to innovate within that franchise to keep coming me back. Keep coming me back? To keep me coming back. And Monster Hunter World did that, and you can bet your ass that I'm going to be coming back with Iceborne. There's still going to be more Monster Hunter World coverage in the channel because I still have a couple of builds that I want to do. I mean, now I have the 3 weapons that I've been coveting for months. Naturally, I'm going to be working on builds for those weapons and a couple of more builds that I still have that I want to put out there. But it's been a fantastic ride, and I'm glad to have had all of you Iron Breakers along with me for the ride. Winter is coming. I can't wait for Iceborne. Hopefully, you guys are as hyped as I am, or maybe even more. Because, I mean, friggin' Clutch Claw looks hella good. Hella good. But either way, that is going to be it for this video. I just wanted to share with you guys my good fortune. And I know some guys are going to be like, man, fuck you, Rui, for getting all those weapons. But I just wanted to share that with you guys, as well as the whole live service aspect of it, and just kind of like celebrate how much we've all had fun with this game up until this point. And many more hours to come. And by the way, if at this point you still haven't played Monster Hunter World, get into it, dude. Get into it. If you know a friend that hasn't gotten into Monster Hunter World, talk to your friend. Tell him, dude, now is the time. Now is the time. Winter is coming, dude. that's going to be it, you guys. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit it up with a like. If you didn't enjoy it, hit it up with a dislike. If you guys like my videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon, all that stuff. Comments and feedback in the comment section down below. Stay strong, and may your shields never break.